Okay, so you can make it large. Okay, here we go. Then you have here a few under and overlays that you can, so for instance, you can say what's the existing land use, and it'll just put that in, or you can say where are the streams or whatever, to make it easier to draw something on top, right? And then here, so we're looking at, what is this, groundwater, and then number 5. You can just say edit, and you can start editing features. So you can put 1 hectare, which is a point feature, which makes a 1 hectare square. Everything is in European units. You can add lines. I'm not exactly sure what that does, but polygons, you can make policies or projects. Difference between policies and projects is policies is just a hatched area and it doesn't go into the calculation of the assessment. A project goes into the calculation. So we always did projects because otherwise we don't change anything.
Well, that's really odd because the agriculture was mostly policy and that went into the calculation. I wonder if it's got it backwards.
No. I've also huge areas of agriculture just...
Oh, that's true. That's right. That we borrowed from there. Yeah, there is not.
So and then you can edit existing features, delete features, erase features, etc. Right? Now, if we like a chart, let's say the transportation thing. Let me sync this again. See, so now it's ordered in the wrong way. Critical areas is in the front, and when I go down and I say sync again, now will sync it to our priorities. So now transportation's in the front again, right? Okay, so now what I can do is I can take an existing scenario. So let's see what we actually took. Yeah, we took 24. See, 24 is our development plan. So let's look at this real quick. So this is what we said. There's a bus line here that we just see expand corridor, transport corridor, which would be rapid bus transit, and there is a train station here, and stuff like that. Now what we could do is we could say, well, now we want this additional thing. So you can say add a diagram. And this is something that you can also do. And then you say for what? Okay, I want to do transportation. Describe your diagram. How do we say expand?
I'd say on west side, to west side.
Access airport.
Yeah.
So, and then what I can say, copy from existing diagram. So I can make an empty one, but I can also say, give me an existing one. And we had transportation 24, right? So I take that one, and I say add diagram. Now it makes a new diagram importing that old transportation scenario on top of it, so I don't have to redraw that one. Now I can continue drawing. And how you do that is you just say edit.
If you look at the air photograph, you'll find that
I have to go in here.
20%.
So, but you guys need to help me to say where we want to go. Maybe here on the inside, like this.
Goes the light rail comes right into right about there.
Here.
So now they're starting to work on it's going to go down this boulevard. I'm not sure exactly where it's going to end up going further down, but basically.
So, but we could safely assume it goes up to here.
Right, you got this highway basically that connects 167 to I-5, so that'd be probably a way to...
That we could propose
right
a
away,
light rail.
So, but here's something green in between, so I should probably not hit that part.
That's correct.
Maybe go over here like this.
We could just say it's the bus corridor, because what we've got to the east is bus corridor, so we could just follow the highway.
So then let's just draw a corridor here.
Yeah, that's the corridor for light rail, and this is the corridor for rapid transit bus.
Okay, so I can say at polygon, and then I say a project because I want it in the calculation. And what we have to include in the area is the affected area, if you will. So what is the impact area of the transport line? So what I did here is this is the first thing is what the actual team had done, and then we said no, but our impact is bigger because people also bike to the to the bus corridor or whatever, light rail corridor. So we made it wider instead. There you go. So, okay. I would assume that we probably take the similar width.
Well, you represented by going.
And draw that?
Well, you'd have to take that green part out. 'Cause
Which green part?
the green part you were just looking at?
Oh, no, I don't.
Oh,
I'm not
that width.
drawing.
Yeah, okay, that width.
I'm just drawing the impact
Yeah.
now.
Of the light rail, yeah.
Okay. So here, let's say, where does it go in the north?
So it's coming down, coming across the freeway here maybe, and then it falls here, and then it goes right here, falls this highway for a while. Like it probably there's a station here, and then it goes along the bridge.
You can go to this.
So like this maybe?
Right here. Go to this diagram.
Sure. I don't know. So I mean, does it need to describe what's existing already, or does it matter?
No, actually, it should only describe redevelopment.
Yeah. So I would just start it out.
That says that everybody should
Oh, okay. So this is existing. It's fine.
But it doesn't say let's.
Nah, then I'll change it. Okay, fine.
If you want to say, if you want to say, graphically, it's best represented as
Because
a.
we're only concerned about the Green River, so anybody else, this other stuff is all, this North Quill is somebody else's design problem.
So, but then we should probably include to the south how far it goes.
Graphically says.
You know that?
I think, well, right now I believe it's funded all the way to Federal Way. So it'll be going not along I-5, but along this corridor, Federal Way.
I understand.
Is that about here?
Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
So that's all opportunity for more high density.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, Federal Way is actually already, I mean, the center, the core, I mean, there's a strip mall that's, not a strip mall, but your classic mall that's,
Maybe
2 stories tall, but
Yeah.
and around it, some apartment buildings, I believe, are going up.
It could become another mixed, the SeaTech Mall could become a mixed housing retail like we did at South Center.
Oh, and I'd bring it on this side. Oh, I see.
Oh, this is just a buffer.
Right.
I'm trying to draw kind of a buffer around exactly what you're.
Yeah, and that would be right to that around that red.
Right?
Yeah.
So with the Hector my changes window, that's the since you're the conductor, if I just wanted to preview all of the housing.
Did I draw this too narrow? Nancy, what do you think? Because we made it this much.
Yeah, and especially you could go more towards the west because there's like great views there. And, well, not all the way there, but a little wider on that side.
So when the buffer's creating an opportunity for the development itself, is that part of the idea?
Yeah,
This is kind of
different from a stream buffer.
Yeah.
And then there's also the highway there, so better bus transport.
Okay. So should I make it a little wider? Just to say that.
You know what? No, because towards the airport, it's too noisy.
And are these the things that the buffer's overlaying, like the blue and the red and the green, are they things that ought to be considered in some way? I mean, like you actually draw the buffers around them, or is that critical?
Yeah.
Sometimes you do have to draw them around them. It depends really what you're doing, I think. So for the transport, I would argue this is just the impact of the transport. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to actually consider anything else as long as your transport line doesn't go directly through it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So mitigation might be required from that, but not.
You can't put housing everywhere.
Not necessarily.
Exactly. Versus
not being allowed to do it.
if you say I develop high density housing in this area, you have to draw it around it.
Can I see something? Show me your design at any level. Just show the current status of the design. Okay. Put in the existing land use.
Yeah, I think maybe right now the substitute work of environmental. So,
Okay. What's the green blob?
Agriculture that somebody else has done.
Okay, I'm trying to think about how to present this as a land use pattern. The problem with that blob is that there are houses underneath it, and it almost looks like that what you're doing is destroying the houses in order to do something for agriculture. And I think that that's a mistake graphically. I also think it's a mistake graphically to show your sewers, which are not a surface land use, because
We have to put them all in order to...
I realize that. I realize that. No. I realize that there's a difference between making the plan and showing the plan. And what I'm trying to figure out is what is a way that everybody will show us how they made the plan, but also represent it as the future land use pattern, which this is not a good representation of, because there are houses underneath.
Well, the buffer of the transportation corridor is transparent. Can the agriculture be transparent?
Well, that's...
It is kind of...
It is kind of, but the policy diagram, the policy hatching will show the housing underneath, okay? And what I'm thinking of is causing the agricultural policy to have an impact rather than not have it as an impact, and use it as a graphic symbolism so that everybody is encouraged to grow vegetables in their backyard, for example. You see the green hatches that you've got in the middle there? That tells me that you've got a policy related to agriculture, it looks like anyway,
Right.
in a residential area.
Yeah.
You see the difference? And it also says that if we eliminate the buffers for transport and sewer service, which are basically, the buffer is an imaginary thing, the sewer surface is underground, then you'll still see that there's a residential pattern, and the real issue then is the buffers for your open space, and whether you're going to remove houses from that, if they're in there already. And so when you zoom in, that's a legitimate question. And so I'm trying to think about how best to show this, not just as these are the policies and projects, but this is the resulting land use pattern. And I'm trying to figure out how to do that by looking at people's designs. So I'm going to end up making a requirement at noon saying, this is what we want to see in the presentation. 2 images. What did you do, and what does it look like from the air, in effect?
Well, just because I was on the agriculture team, most of our proposals were policies, TDR, PDR. There was some zoning, but not too much. But I think we instead, with the big blob, green blob, borrowed the other teams. They must have turned it into a project instead of a policy. But we might find a diagram that uses the hatch over the agricultural.
There's a lot of...
But I mean, instead of the big green blob,
Convert that to a thing. It almost looks like
might mean to
that's kind of
remove
a forest.
their agriculture diagram and use different ways.
Yeah, here's a big hatch.
I mean, that green patch looks to me like more like a forested area. At least exists.
Well,
Yeah, forest is a darker green.
so when we generated these diagrams, we were looking at existing maps to say, okay, with agriculture, for example, what's in an agricultural production zone. And so we said anything that's in an existing APD would be eligible for transfer of development rights or purchase of
I mean,
development
those are the
rights.
hatches. I recognize those. Some of those,
Yeah.
those APDs, but that other patch is.
It could be that if we looked at the title of that, let's say 8, look at the title. What is the title of that one? See, so we just said, okay, any viable lands, ag lands, you could do TDR.
There's that one.
Team 6.
Yeah, that's Team 6's. So I think if you went to 7, it might be a good. Ag 7 might be more of a policy one. Or 8, or we use 8 because it's big, but it's not regulatory.
Test. I like that too.
See what 8 is. for ag.
Transfer of development rights to all variable ag.
Oh, I'm sorry, try 7. Yeah, try
We
7.
don't want to do that. Purchase development rights for maximum viable farmland.
So those are just policies that are both voluntary. So we could do it, right?
Zone active agricultural lands, 1 residence per 28.
So that's the most restrictive. That if that
that
one
might
got
be
implemented, you would have it.
Tax reduction for open space parcels.
And so as long those, well, I guess those they don't come into play in the calculations, but I mean, so things like that would be if as long as they don't overlap with the high density development, then they drive up, they reduce the density of other land and drive
People to us.
people to right.
Yeah, I agree. So that's why I don't think that's so. Carl, why do you think this is a bad thing for us? Because at the end of the day, what this means is if there's lots of agriculture here, it destroys houses there. People come to us, drives our house prices up. Great.
Well, you can do that, but it does seem silly. The way I think you should deal with this is to divide that polygon into 2. One is expand agriculture where there isn't a residential area, and have a policy that people should grow their own food if there is a residential area. And because the idea that you're going to take, 5,000 houses or 500 houses or 50 houses just doesn't make any sense to me. In a political climate, it's going to be way too expensive. It's not economically possible to do that, and it's silly. It just causes trouble. So either it's all a policy, but I think it shouldn't. I think it should be a project in part, but on land that isn't already.
So we have to divide and look what's on the other side.
I think so. I think that's a reasonable thing to do, and I think the thing to do is to reconsider that idea in that location as a function of what's underneath it, which is the existing land use pattern.
Look at 12. 12 might be.
Yeah,
So that's implementing. That's a zoning. That would be a project, right? That you would actually zone it. So you might have to take some houses out.
You might.
Most of the other green hatches were voluntary policies like TDR and PDR.
Okay. Yeah.
So then you could put that more broadly over.
I think that it's a mistake in general, unless it's a real public purpose, to assume that somebody's going to voluntarily give you their house. It's not. It's not common.
Sure.
That's not that common. And you can't take it by eminent domain unless it's a particularly public purpose. And this is not a public purpose. Usually, it's not a public purpose. In wartime, it might be, but. So I think you get into trouble. But how much energy you want to place into that agricultural part is sort of up to you. I do know something about that agricultural area, and that is that the existing farms, the actual existing farms, are causing a hell of a lot of water pollution problems. And it does strike me that some policy down there that deals with water pollution, expansion of agriculture, but not taking people's homes is a very good idea. And I don't know if anybody else on the environmental groups have attacked that well, but it's not a bad idea to send an emissary and look and say, what have you done and what can we help you with?
The surface water, that's about nutrients.
It's nitrates, and it is a problem. That's a known problem, and it seems to me that a combination of trying to solve that problem on a water quality basis plus the agricultural growth, I think that's to your advantage, and I'd be surprised if the environmental teams haven't thought about that. Whether they've done it as well as you could do it, that I can't tell you. I just don't know.
I have another comment, more technical comment.
Yeah.
So when we look at our analysis here down at the bottom, oh, it's gone again. Shouldn't take that very long. It actually shows that in our scenario, the high-density housing is not fulfilled. But I think we're spot on. We're actually almost meeting exactly the 40-year criteria according to our calculations. But what we have done is we have changed the density.
I understand. Internal density to high density. Exactly. I heard that conversation. So
obviously it's not reflected properly here.
I totally understand because I understand. I was here listening to you when you made that decision. That's something you have to simply say.
Yeah.
Now, this could be easily solved if Harishi customized
Right.
your density. We're not going to do that.
No, I mean,
But we can.
also as
You
users,
understand.
kind of
It's an easy step to implement, to customize density.
I understand
Yeah.
all of this.
Yeah,
but
sure.
My comment is, it would actually be good for a user to also be able, at least, to see the assumption that underlay this.
I understand.
Somehow.
Sure, that's clear. That's clear. But this assumption is not a singular. In other words, what you
Oh, yeah.
all you need is a
Maybe.
text line. What you need is a text
I
line,
guess, suppose.
because your assumption might be different than his assumption.
True.
Okay, so yeah, all of that is true. But what we don't want to do yet, it's not the priority yet, is to customize the program. What we want to do is compare the solutions to a single program. And in this workshop, because of the way that the workshop was targeted toward the existing regulations, we've said to you, feel free, change it. That's why you have a free team. But the system is not set up toward freedom.
Oh, yeah. Just saying. All right, cool.
So the gist of that is that we probably are meeting the target, but it just can't calculate it
Yeah,
properly.
yeah,
Okay.
just can't show it.
We do meet the target, I would argue.
No, you do. You just say so.
Yeah, of course. We just say so. Of course we meet the
Believe us.
target. Who would have